hit reality television show that scripted the use of animals in a way that sources say not only distorted reality, but also put them in danger.
This is Call of the Wildman.
Animal Planet's Call of the Wildman regularly tops 1 million viewers, drawn to daring animal rescues performed by this guy, Ernie Brown Jr., or Turtle Man from Kentucky.
And he does it all with his bare hands.
That might be true, but only after animals are procured, sources say sometimes by trappers, placed, then chased according to scripts. This zebra, which Sharp Entertainment now confirms was drugged with sedatives prior to performing on camera. Contradicting an account from a production insider, Animal Planet and Sharp Entertainment say the drug was administered behind their backs.
Okay, I gotta stop here. This literally makes me cry every time I watch it. In Kentucky, that care can only be provided by a licensed wildlife rehabilitator.
But when she volunteered her help, producers said she could only take the raccoons if she agreed to stage the final act of their rescue at her centre. But behind the scenes, the babies were rushed to Karen anyway for her expertise, and they arrived on the brink of death.
Shame on the Turtle Man. Shame on Animal Planet. If you go to Animal Planet, you expect good educational TV. You don't expect this. I don't even know what to call this.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, Comrade Lavender here, and today I'm back with another anti-capitalism, true crime, deep dive video topic. Today I'm going to do the topic of Pure Evil, the Animal Planet, and Discovery TV show network files, deep dive, capitalism, trash TV, scripted fake stage drama, animal abuse, etc. All my YouTube videos that are related to this topic right now will be on the screen right now if you want to check them out on my channel. So let's get started into this YouTube video topic. We all know by now that Animal Planet and Discovery have went downhill. Like, they used to have such good shows back then, and now their shows aren't that great anymore. You know, it went from The Crocodile Hunter to shows like Treehouse Master for treehouses for millionaires. So let's get started into why this is. Television producers for Animal Planet and Discovery Network, for example, used to focus on education-filled shows for the whole entire family. They used to have primarily animal educational wildlife-based shows that were centered around and advocating for wildlife and animals and wild spaces such as...
Coming up on Animal Cops Houston.
These horses aren't being taken care of.
I heard a loud screech and I knew something was wrong.
Like a dive bomber, a bird of prey attacks another bird and the show's host.
This season on Whale Wars.
You can buy a lot of muscle with $30 million.
Save me from the man with a harpoon gun. Save me, I don't hurt anyone. I am the giant of the sea, but I am your friend. Don't let my time on earth come to an end.
See the legendary view, but when disaster strikes, paradise becomes a cruel and savage place.
By instinct to catch myself, I reached over and put my hands on the wall. And that's when all hell broke loose.
But if Sinjin's going to stay alive, he has to do something different and move a rock weighing more than half a ton. He's unleashed all the power in his muscles. Sinjin heaved a boulder weighing 1,200 pounds. 1.5 times the world bench press record.
What it takes to beat the odds on I Shouldn't Be Alive.
The stories you are about to see are real. The ultimate battles of beast versus man. A doctor from the California Department of Health calls with the results.
She thought the child had rabies.
Rabies is a virus that attacks the nervous system.
They just wouldn't quit coming in. We all began to get very paranoid.
Take notice, this is no run-of-the-mill cat. This is a snowshoe.
They get their name, the snowshoe, because their feet have to be all white.
Animal Cops Houston, where they rescue abused cats, horses, and dogs, etc. And all the Animal Cop shows, such as Miami Animal Cops, Houston Animal Cops Philadelphia, Animal Cops Phenix, etc. Big Cat Diary, The Crocodile Hunter, Bindi The Jungle Girl, Whale Wars, Monsters Inside Me, an educational show about parasites and bacteria and viruses, and Survivor Stories, My Cat from Hell, Untamed and Uncut, Cats 101, and Dogs 101. Untamed and Uncut was kind of like showing like real life accidents and things that have happened to people that involve animals. I Shouldn't Be Alive, Weird, True, and Freaky, I Was Prey, more survival stories from victims, etc. I would consider these really awesome shows that Animal Planet Discovery used to have. But then everything changed. Animal Planet changed their programming to focus on scripted drama and fake drama and trash TV, making capitalism profits, versus their original mission of educating the public about animals. For example, people who used to be on Animal Planet, like the Irwin family, went from claiming they were wildlife warriors saving and rescuing crocodiles, abused crocodiles on Steve Irwin's show, Crocodile Hunter, to Bindy Irwin working with one of the biggest animal abusers in the world, SeaWorld, a multi-million-dollar animal abusing company that has had a long dark history of orca abuse, which is in case in point of selling out and putting profits over animal lives. SeaWorld's parking lot is bigger than the orcas' tanks they live in.
He made a blunder teaming up with SeaWorld in the States.
Might only be 15 years old, but today Bindy Irwin's copping major flack after doing a deal with SeaWorld in the States, a franchise of marine parks that's battling very bad PR.
We have a brand new announcement.
She's nothing if not enthusiastic.
And actually, I have a friend who's come to join us to help with this announcement. This is Pete. These guys are Magellanica penguins, and they are gorgeous. We love them desperately.
She's the poster girl for animal awareness in Australia and abroad.
Can I make my big announcement? All right.
But it's this news in the US overnight that landed Bindi Irwin in hot water.
We are so thrilled to finally be joining SeaWorld on a brand new initiative called Generation Nature.
Animal rights group PETA immediately slammed the partnership.
Unfortunately, as her father's namesake boat is out with Sea Shepherd trying to conserve and protect exploited marine life, Bindy's now been hired out to exploit those animals. Twitter exploded in condemnation, with several tweets referring to the recent documentary Blackfish. SeaWorld in turn condemned Blackfish, saying, "The film paints a distorted picture. SeaWorld commits millions of dollars annually to conservation and scientific research." Australia Zoo today issued a statement defending the initiative. Bindi Irwin is thrilled to be involved with SeaWorld kids through their Generation Nature campaign. No one questions the Irwin family's commitment to advancing animal awareness. It's literally their life's work. But why partner up with an American brand that is swimming in bad PR?
Save me, give me freedom in the water. Stop the hunters hunting me. I am your friend. It used to be such a wonderful blue planet. No fear of anyone till humans overran it.
Wants to save this orca, and nothing is going to stand in her way. And I really believe that it reflects on me a lot as well, because I love wildlife, and if there's something that needs saving, I will definitely save it and give 100% to do so.
But the thing is that Bindi Irwin, let's say SeaWorld were abusing crocodiles instead of orcas or dolphins, would the Irwin family still work with them and support SeaWorld? Because Steve Irwin did an Animal Planet Crocodile Hunter show documentary in one of the episodes of the documentaries he made, where he rescued a scared and abused crocodile that had poor dentistry and teeth.
Her teeth aren't really good.
The pond that she was living in was absolutely atrocious. Her pond was so full of debris, only time will heal her mental scars, her psychological damage.
And in SeaWorld, the orca's teeth are terrible. CHR Gillette from Animal Planet's Gator Boys TV show has talked about his personal experiences on different TV networks and channels on cable TV, and how TV shows he's been on, different networks, put profits over good quality animal educational TV shows. And he talks about how TV is a dying media, cable TV at the end of the day.
Now, I've worked in many different TV shows. I mean, literally dozens of different TV shows over the years. I first started working on TV shows about 2007 was probably the first show I ever worked on. So I've worked on shows for Animal Planet, Discovery Channel, Travel Channel, CNN, NBC, E, History, Fox, the Weather Channel. I mean, it's like a very long list. So a ton of different networks. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that I am very thankful for the opportunities that I have had in working in television, and like I have had many benefits from them. But unfortunately, it has also been an overwhelmingly negative experience of working in TV and just being exposed to the ethics or lack thereof of working in television, especially in animal TV, has been really bad. Whether I was working behind the camera or in front of the camera, I have seen some really messed up stuff. So I'm going to say this right now. Everything I'm about to say is hypothetical situations of my opinion and are possibly fictitious, and nothing I'm about to say is actually rooted in true fact, and it's just my personal opinion and likely fictitious. So don't take anything 100%, because I had to sign all kinds of contracts saying that they will sue me if I ever talk about anything I did on camera. So that's why I'm going to tell you this is all fake. I'm just talking. It's not a big deal. So that way, you know. But yeah, so overwhelmingly reality TV is not reality, guys. And so why did reality TV become so popular? I've worked on quite a few different reality TV shows. And so the rise of reality TV was because networks realized that they could give regular people scripts and literally have the entire show completely scripted, just like any other TV show. 100% fake. Hand you a script, but because you're not a real actor, then when you come across on camera not being able to act very well, they say it's because it's reality TV. And so that's how they get around this thing of being able to still 100% script the show, but then because everybody isn't very good on TV, oh, that's just because they're not actors. They don't know how to act, you know? And it's reality. So they get away with that part, right? But the bigger one that they're trying to get away with there is then they don't have to pay you as an actor. They make you act like an actor, and they make you literally read a script, and they direct everything and completely control it just like any other TV show. But then they pay the people on there a per episode fee. A lot of these per episode fees, again, per episode, that means not reoccurring. That means any show that I've been on, when they air it again and again and again and again, you don't get paid for any of those. You only get paid the day that you're on the set actually working per episode. They just cancel the show, start over on a new one. And it's so that's why so many TV shows that you are like, dude, I love that show. Why'd they cancel it? Because they don't want that talent to have that leveraging power to get more money out of the show. Because the network or the production company wants to retain all that money. Now, to put this in perspective, if you're thinking like, oh man, making $1,000 per episode, that's good money, right? No, because those people are making millions. A lot of times, like I've worked on these shows and the episode budget is like $100,000, $200,000 per episode, and then they pay you $1,000. And if the producer can try to retain those costs the best that they can, they just pocket it at the end. Because I've known these producers personally. And so obviously, when it goes to the network, they're going to say, oh, no, we spent everything. The entire budget was spent on the show, you know, whatever. In reality, they control the situation in every corner of it so that they can then, at the end of it, pocket all that for themselves. As far as the animal side of a lot of these shows I've worked on, almost, and I mean almost all of them are staged. And what I mean by staged is where they will fake the animal interactions. Here, we can move back over here so we're with him. But so what they'll do, I've worked on a lot of them, and even natural history shows, even on respected networks and respectable shows, again, I can't name names, but you would be very surprised. I've worked on them where like, hey Chris, we're gonna be in Florida next week. Can you catch us this, and this animal so we can stage all the captures? So they'll have me like, I don't do these anymore, but back in the day when I was young and I was excited and I wanted to work in TV and I thought this was my in, I was like, oh yeah, wow, I'm gonna be on this show and I get to help out. And so they tell you like a month ahead of time, I need you to have a Burmese python, we need an alligator, we need an eastern diamondback rattlesnake, and then they have their host come in, and that's how you'll see the TV host walking by and be like, within 1 day of searching, like, oh my God, we found a python, and we found a rattlesnake, and we found a coral snake, and all this stuff, because it's all fake. So what you don't see is a TV host walking over, and in the background, here's like me at 18 years old running over with a snake and then let it go in the bushes right in front of the guy so he can walk up and be like, oh wow, look, there's a snake, and then they catch it. It's insane how almost all these shows are completely faked in this manner. And I mean, again, I can't name names, but you guys, you really would not believe how like almost all of them, not all of them, there are some that are real, but almost all of them are completely fake. And the way that you can find out as a viewer, if you are watching any kind of show and the camera is already looking here and then people walk into the scene, that means it's a staged encounter. Now, with that staging comes a lot of ethical issues, obviously. So, like I said, I have worked on that side of it on a couple of shows and I won't do it. You know, I did it when I was young and dumb and didn't know any better, and I thought it was going to be my way to get into the TV world and get my own TV show, and I literally did it a handful of times. I was like, I'm never doing this again. Like, the ethics are so bad, it's so wrong.
Death and neglect behind the scenes at Animal Planet's network, allegedly an investigation. By the time 3 orphan raccoons arrived for emergency care at the Kentucky Wildlife Center Hospital in April 2012. They were emaciated and they were almost dead. These weren't just any raccoons, they were, it's a race against time to save them. The animals were incubated and fed fluids and antibiotics. As a last-ditch effort, Bailey administered blood plasma to save the lives of only 2 of the 3 raccoons. Call of the Wildman regularly back then attracted more than 1 million viewers for the 4th quarter of 2011. It was Animal Planet's and the network's most watched series when the episode about the raccoon cubs. It pulled in 1.6 million viewers to become the show's highest rating episode up to that date, thanks in part to Call of the Wildman. Discovery Communications, Animal Planet's parent company, was among the top 3 fastest growing ad-supporting cable networks in 2012. The trend continued in 2013. Call of the Wildman is part of Animal Planet's ongoing shift away from educational animal programming to reality trash TV. But this raccoon incident is just some of the alleged mistreatment going down on the network. Possible infringements of state and federal law, the result of what sources describe as neglectful production practices. A 7-month Mother Jones investigation, which drew on internal documents, interviews with 8 people involved in the show's production, and government records, reveals evidence of a culture that tolerated legally and ethically dubious activities, including using an animal that had been drugged with sedatives in violation of federal rules, directing trappers to procure wild animals, which were then caught again as part of a script, and wrongfully filling out legal paperwork documents detailing the crew's wildlife activities for Kentucky officials. When asked about these allegations, Animal Planet arranged for an interview with Sharp Entertainment that also included Matthew Hizovic, a top Manhattan crisis manager who has worked for celebrities like Justin Bieber. The producer said they had investigated alleged of animal mistreatment. Sharp says after the allegations came to light, it introduced new written guidelines for the field crew. For the first time, hired on-set licensed animal handler when shooting began around May 22nd last year. Yet, Andler and the network has no intention to pull the episodes in question, which are still available and the reruns are playing. An investigation pointed to a scene on the show with raccoons, and it was claimed that Michael O'Brien, the vet at Broadbent Wildlife Sanctuary, where the raccoons are taken to be filmed after the rescue, told me the mother raccoon was actually a male. 3 sources involved with the show confirmed that TV producers typically procure animals from farms or trappers and put them in a fake rescue situations on sets tailored to specific sharp producers even go as far to make fake animal droppings using Nutella, Snickers bars, and rice. It was my job to call around people to trap animals at the direction of Sharp, says Jamie, who worked on the show. Jamie's name has been changed. Sharp Entertainment requires many employees and participants to sign confidentiality agreements that call for as much as $1 million in damages if breached. It's 100% fake, said a second production source. In other words, the raccoons were not found under that house, nor reunited with their mother. They were performers in a call of the Wildman script. Sharp told them in email that it's the call of the Wildman policy that these dramatizations are conducted legally and humanely. But our investigation suggests that the show goes far beyond dramatization, which implies raging real events, to full-blown fabrication and scripting. After a segment that aired in early June 2013 depicted Brown fishing poisonous cottonmouth snakes out of a public pool in Danesville, Kentucky, city authorities investigated. They conducted the scene was manufactured. Let me put it this way, the snakes didn't crawl in or swim into the pool. The report quoted pool manager Harold League as saying, City Manager Ron Scott told me that City received no response to report from Sharp or Animal Planet. In the case of the baby raccoons, Animal Planet and Sharp say they received the animals no more than 48 hours before filming the scene, and adapted the script at that point to include the cubs. But the phone records of the baby raccoons expert Karen Bailey show that a Sharp producer, Ed Ryan, contacted her several days ahead of the actual filming process. They said that Bailey could help them, but on their own terms. They made it very clear that the only way that we would have access to these babies is if we agreed to the filming of the final scene in her clinic, she says. Not wanting to be associated with the show, Bailey helped negotiate a new location at Broadbent Wildlife Sanctuary, but by the time filming wrapped, the cubs were so sick that the staff took them to Bailey. Animal Planet and Sharp say the raccoons featured in the episode were brought to the producers in 2 groups from 2 separate nuisance calls, but legal wildlife documents filled out by Sharp on the behalf of Turtle Man don't back up that claim. In another incident, raising questions about the show's compliance with state rules, a wallaby was transported across state lines. Sharp says the animal handler told them she had all the correct permits, but an open record request reveals that no transportation permit for the wallaby was issued. Nicole Padat, Vice President of Wildlife Protection for the Humane Society of the United States, says that moving the wallaby across state lines without a proper permit, especially for commercial purposes, could also violate federal regulations on interstate trafficking of wildlife. In any case, John Griffin is the Director of Humane Wildlife Services at HSUS, says that state rules for nuisance wildlife operators weren't designated for this kind of situation. It's not the intent of it to provide entertainment, he says. You're really introducing a new conflict, and it's outside of what's allowed. Bailey says it's possible the raccoon cubs could have died in the wild, but once they were in the show's possession, she says, every additional hour away from proper care put them in greater danger. If these animals were somehow subjected to someone's production schedule, somebody's convenient timeline, and you're dealing with newborn animals that need round-the-clock care, then that's wrong and exploitative, she says. Kentucky law prohibits Wallington failing to provide adequate food, drink, or health care of the animal. The Animal Legal Defense Fund has ranked Kentucky as the worst state in the country for animal protection for the last 7 years in a row, in part because of weak enforcement. Documents and sources also raised troubling questions about a segment shot at Jazzy Girls, a brightly colored, painted storefront in Houston's fashionable Monroe neighborhood. A mysterious skittering around the storage room had been terrorized by the hairdressers says the voiceover in Bat Hair Day, which aired Turtleman is invited back by the owner then. Turtleman then discovers a group of Mexican freed-tail bats. Animal Planet and Sharp acknowledge the bats were placed in the salon for the purpose of filming, but they claim it happened legally. Everyone involved in production of The Call of the Wild Man is aware to follow all of the laws, state and federal, and they know that they have to abide by them in every aspect of production. Texas law allows people to remove bats from homes or businesses, though Juwan Evans, a biologist with the Texas Park and Wildlife Department, told us that bringing a bat to a new location for entertainment purposes alone is not allowed. Mother Jones has seen documents indicating that Sharp paid for bat removal service on 2 separate occasions. Both sources say one dead bat was definitely the same species as the bats Turtleman chased. In another Texas-based episode, Lone Stars and Stripes, Turtleman chases a zebra that was supposedly escaped from its fenced-in yard at a ranch he rides in hot pursuit of the animal. But behind the scenes, things were far murkier. Production sources told me that the zebra seemed woozy during filming. It could barely walk or stand. And the zebra was obtained from the Franklin Drive-Thru Safari Park, an animal park run by a businessman named Jason Clay. In a phone interview, Clay confirmed that he supplied the zebra, but denied using sedatives. Clay is licensed under the federal regulators for animal exhibitations, which specify that drugs such as tranquilizers shall not be used to facilitate, allow, or provide or public handling of the animals, and handling animals should not cause trauma, behavioral stress, physical harm, or unnecessary discomfort. Despite his denial, Animal Planet and Sharp confirmed that Mother Jones that the zebra was drugged before filming. They say it happened behind their backs without their knowledge. However, Jamie and the other sources say the crew was aware of the zebra's condition and sedation during filming, especially since the animal nearly fell over several times. I've heard about the zebras being almost unstable, says another source. They sedated it to get it to be less crazy. Another confirmed that the zebra looked out of it. Animal Planet admits that producers used an additional unsedated zebra for supplemental footage. In the end, says Bailey, so many people look up to Animal Planet. They remember the old Animal Planet that was dedicated to true education about animals and wildlife and conservation. But to put animals in harm's way and be so exploitative, to put these animals in stressful situations for selfish reasons and not to look out for their overall well-being, it's wrong and it's disappointing. The Skunk Whisperer TV series, Ned Broda, has also allegedly spoken out about the Animal Planet's shady TV producers, as well as saying on his blog that he put his foot down. If you want fake, illegal setup scenes and dramatic trash, get out of Oklahoma and go film Billy the Exterminator, because I will not allow it here. We are storytellers and we have the right to tell these stories, where Bruda believes that their stories indirectly instill fear of animals and trade animal slice for Animal Planet executive salaries. Other alleged victims of Animal Planet or Discovery Network shows include a drama such as Edited Reality, What I Learned from Filming Eaten Alive. Paul Rosie studies anacondas in the Mary de Daz region of Peru on November 3rd, 2014. They woke up, checked into the flight status from Bangalore to New York. What I found when I opened my laptop was a mind-boggling amount of emails, hate mail, and death threats, and interview requests. The numbers were staggering. The night before, during Nick Wallen's Tightrope special on Discovery Channel, the network had aired the first trailers for the show they decided to call Eaten Alive. I was grimly amused to see that the commercial made it seem like I had actually been eaten by an anaconda. This naturally sparked a litany of fictitious headlines and articles and news articles. Some said we had killed the snake during filming, while others claimed the stunt would be a live event. One Indian newspaper apparently reported that I'd been inside the anaconda's stomach for 28 days. The media had been eaten alive by speculation. As you probably know, reactions to the show got even bigger from there. Filming the best wildlife documentary in history, or so we thought, during the course of 3 months in the Amazon, my team and I took the Discovery film crew to sites where illegal gold mining have ravaged the sites of rivers, and even caught footage of illegal miners in the act, caught on film. We filmed deforested areas near the Trans-Amazon Highway and covered vertically every known aspect of the anaconda biology. We also filmed the exciting deep-water capture of a 19-foot female anaconda. A drone flew over the legendary floating forest, and we got stunning images of an ancient tree. With all the action and science, we thought the stunt at the end of the day would draw in otherwise reluctant viewers, but wouldn't overwhelm the conservation mission of the project during the filming of the special, which at the time was titled Expedition Anaconda. Everyone in the field team worked to promote the long-term conservation of the del Diros region. The devastating news that came during filming was the realization that the ecologically unique anaconda habitat we call the floating forest had been nearly destroyed. When the first commercial for Eaten Alive played, it wasn't long until PETA came out with an opinion. They called it animal abuse in the highest degree, despite the fact they had no information about the show, and more fact that they had absolutely no snakes had been harmed in any way during the show's filming, including the one where they attempted to feed me to. PETA's petition to cancel the TV show would eventually top 38,000 signatures on change.org and catalyze hundreds of written articles. Well, I was actually glad to see this petition because it meant people cared about the welfare of the animal and the snake, one of the most vilified animals in history. Another petition got less attention. The petition to protect the standing Amazon rainforest topped out at just only 7,000 signatures, way less than the other signature thing, and incited no articles. In the rampant destruction of rainforest habitat, billions of animals are actually dying and even going extinct. To me, this is where the real battle lies, but I slowly realized that this fact is lost on many people, including PETA. This was the message I was working to get across. There was much to be desired, and a lot of the footage was cut out and wasn't even aired or shown. I'm still at a loss to describe the sinking sensation I felt when I saw the final cut. The show that the editors had cobbled together contained very little ecological science, and include just the faintest mention of conservation or wildlife conservation. It was a crippling end to a project I had put so much work into just for it really not to be seen and cut out or not featured entirely. If you look at the Eaten Alive purely as a viewer, at most people must think it is difficult to dispute Salon's take when they said, "So, recap, no redeeming conservation message and no actual eating." What exactly was the point of this? What aired was very little to do with my team and I's actual work and what we filmed in Peru, the country. It wasn't easy. I had worked so hard on what the final televised product was. Why was all this left out? That's a question for Discovery at this point. We lobbied daily for it, and at the end we are forced to face the fact that the footage was used in the actual product was not our prerogative, but Discovery Network's. On to the other shows. Big Cat Diary. If I'm correct, the show only got canceled because a cheetah named Honey, the vet shot her with a dart in the stomach on accident and killed her in the process. Even then, I don't know why the show was canceled. It actually had awesome footage of big cats and wildlife and other things.
This cowboy is sitting on 1,300 pounds of dynamite, and it's about to explode.
This cowboy is sitting on 1,300 pounds of dynamite, and it's about to explode. This clip from Animal Planet's show Untamed and Uncut would lead viewers to believe that rodeo bulls are dangerous, unpredictable animals. Much like rodeos, this clip is sensationalized garbage that counts on the stupidity of its viewers. Animal Planet would have you believe that bull riders are heroes, risking their lives to tame rampaging animals, but that claim is nonsense. Rodeo performers like Chris Shivers choose to climb on the backs of bulls in hopes of winning easy money. They choose to accept some risk to entertain the drunks in the stands so that they don't have to get real jobs. Unfortunately, rodeo animals don't have a choice about participation, and they endure far more risk.
Shark flies and videotapes. Scientists document the many problems with Shark Week. Marine biologists' biggest stage. Shark Week is many things. First and foremost, it's a week of shark-themed documentaries programming on the Discovery Channel. With its third year, it's the longest-running cable event in TV history. Its biggest audience is that marine biologists and ocean conservationists get, attracting millions of viewers who might otherwise not think about sharks at all. It's a stage that has launched careers of shark scientists and inspired many others to pursue jobs at ocean scientists. However, a new analysis shows that Shark Week is also deeply flawed in its ways to undermine its goals, potentially harming both sharks and shark scientists as a whole. To document just how persuasive these issues are, a team of researchers performed a content and discourse analysis of more than 200 Shark Week episodes. The public's perception of sharks, shark science, and shark scientists is heavily influenced by Shark Week. Unfortunately, we found that Shark Week programming focuses on negative portrayals of sharks and does not often accurately portray shark research nor the diversity of expertise in the field. While critics have been saying this for some time, we now have the numbers to back it up, said lead author Dr. Lisa Whitenack, Associate Professor of Biology and Geology at college. Though many shows focus on scientific research, they often relied on non-scientist hosts using atypical methods to answer a series of questions long answered by the scientific community. Many of these methods border on wildlife harassment, and some are far over the line. Certain repeat hosts regularly say things that were demonstrably false about the biology, behavior, or conservation of these sharks. Despite many shows taking place in South Africa, the Bahamas, or Mexico, only a handful of non-white experts were ever featured in the show's 30-plus year run, including many examples of bringing white American hosts with no relevant expertise halfway around the world to show instead of involving local experts of hosts and expertise featured in more than 10 episodes. 100% were white men. Many women and people of color as a whole work in the field and have never been featured in the show. Narration regularly included staggering examples of needlessly promoting fear and fearmongering. Even Shark Week episode titles promote fear and sensationalism, such as Sharkpocalypse, Deadly Stripes, Great White Serial Killer, and Sharks, Are They Hunting Us? Despite frequent claims from the Discovery Channel that Shark Week promotes conservation and shark conservation and wildlife conservation as a whole, the authors identified just 6 specific and detailed mentions of anything related to Shark Week's massive audience could help sharks. Additionally, the 3 most commonly featured species are not any of the species of great conservation concern, and most critically endangered species are never been featured or mentioned at all. Wolves vs. Monsters, Predator's controversial role in TV. When Animal Planet first launched, their logo featuring the friendly elephant balancing a globe on his trunk, proudly emblazoned with the tagline, Same Planet, Different World. The channel featured shows such as Wild Kingdom and Jeff Corwin Experience, programs that focus on observation of animals in their natural habitat and education about the species and their environment. In 2003, Animal Planet's parent company, Discovery, had made a small change that was indicative of a larger shift. The logo switched to a jagged edge graphic of the channel's name, while the tagline became surprisingly human. Since then, programming, we've seen a dramatic shift towards the style of melodramatic, reality, fake TV type of television. Man-eating superwolves encased uproar from animal and wilderness defense groups. Wolves are still making a slow recovery from their near extinction due to hunting and habitat loss, and are protected under the Endangered Species Act in some of the U.S. Defenders of Wildlife, one of the foremost wolf advocate groups, organized a petition in wake of the announcement of the show, which includes strong language against the perpetuation of prejudice against wolves. Despite irrefutable scientific evidence to the contrary, Animal Planet knowingly presented this as fact, the same anti-wolf myths and inaccuracies, and wiped out gray wolves nearly a century ago. For a network that emphasizes and prides itself on educational and conservation content and minded subject matter, outraged the irresponsible misrepresentation of a still recovering species that perpetuates lies and fear-mongering to millions across the country. The special only aired once, on May 21st, after receiving the petition, which garnered over 80,000 signatures. Animal Planet canceled the rest of the planned airings, and is claiming they only ever planned to air the show once, although there were 3 more airings originally scheduled. Blurring the line between friction and fact is not responsible action, especially when it comes to endangered species. I'd rather see educational content about the importance of predators and their key roles in the ecosystem, like keeping elk populations under control, which restores the health of the rivers and their accompanying areas. If there's fear-mongering about these animals, programs like Animal Planet need to be educating people about the common sense of how to avoid dangerous encounters, instead of presenting fear-mongering fictional content and claiming to be a documentary-style program.